Hi, good evening everyone. मैं हूं आकाश पड़िया. Welcome to Django webinar, which is organized by Sigma Institute of Engineering, and special thanks to Dr. Sesang Degadwala for giving me this opportunity to deliver this session. Right. So again, good evening everyone. I hope you guys are ready to learn Django in 1 hour. Okay. So I can see there are few people are still joining this webinar. Okay, so let me give you some basic introduction about me. I'm Akash Padiyar. I'm working as a full stack developer and also running an IT company since last 11 years. So let's start the Django without wasting your time. Okay, so one more time, thank you so much Sigma Institute of Engineering College and Dr. Sesang Degadwal, who is the head of the computer engineering department, right? So let's start with the first theory part of this webinar. Okay, so let me share my screen. I hope my screen is visible and I'm audible, right? And if you face any problems and if you have doubts, you can comment in the chat section, right? Okay, so now let's start with the first introduction of the Django. What is Django? Why Django is so popular? So now, first of all, let's start the introduction of the Django. What is Django? The first question will be come in your mind. What is Django? So Django is generally used for creating a website, right? With the help of Django, we can create a website. So if you are a Python developer, then you know the pain of Python. With the help of Python, we can create a website, GUI-based application, and many more things, right? So there are two types of frameworks are available in the Python. One is a full stack and second one is a non-full stack. So, right, why Django? Because Django has a widely communities, right? People are sharing the source code for the Django and also sharing the help in the Django platform. So let's start with Django. So Django is a free and open source web application framework written in Python that you know very well. And a web framework is a set of components that help you to develop a website faster and easier. Means we can say with the help of Django framework, we can create a website in a faster way, right? How? We will see in the next slide. And Django framework follow the dry concept, means you don't have to repeat yourself every time in the code, right? And it provides support for multiple databases like PostgreSQL, MySQL, SQLite, and Oracle. So we can say we can connect any databases in Django, right? Okay. So some of the key highlights of Django that are authentication support. Means by default, Django provides authentication for admin, right? And Django is also providing an admin panel. So no need to create an admin panel again, right? And database schema migration. So there are some database schema migrations are available, same as Laravel in PHP, and object relational mapper, means we can say ORM concept. And it also support for web servers. And the most important thing is template engine. In Python, we know very well we have to concat the HTML file, but in Django, we have template engine. And one more thing, URL routing. You know very well, whenever we are creating a website, at that time we have to specify the URLs, right? Okay. So who is the founder of Django? These two guys are founder of this Django platform. But the next question will become in your mind, why the name is Django? So the person of the founder of Django loved the guitarist. The name was Django Reinhardt, right? On basis of this name, they have given the name that is a Django, right? So, but make sure whenever you pronounce the Django, make sure D will be silent. Few people call as a Django, right? It's not a Django, it's a Django. So whenever you pronounce, make sure D will be silent. Okay. So now let's proceed to the next slide. So Django was open source in 2005 and the first version was released in 2008. And now current version is 3.0, right? Okay. So the features of Django, it's fast and simple. I know everywhere you seen this slide, it's a fast and simple. And one more thing, it's open source, means free to download, free to use, no need to pay any single penny, right? And one more thing, it's a secure. Yes, nowadays there are so many attacks are there for web developers, right? So Django is very secure, okay, and it suits any web application project, means we can create any kind of web application with the help of Django, and it is well established, and documentation is also proper. If you are beginner, then you can focus on the documentation, right? Okay, so who is using Django? There are so many websites are there, platforms are there, they are using Django as a back end or as a front end. Let's say Instagram, Pinterest, Discuss, Spotify, right, and Bitbucket, they are using Django as a maybe as a backend panel or API creation, right? For an example, let's say if we talk about the Instagram actually is a Android application or iOS application, but to fetch data from the database or store the data into database, they are using a Django, right? Okay, next let's consider the timeline of the versions. So currently we are in 2020 and you can see the latest version is 3.0, and this is also important slide. Why? Because whenever you are planning to create a new project in Django, make sure you know very well about the version timeline, right? Let's say if you create a website in 3.0 version, then it will be helpful up to 2021 or maybe 2022, and then you have to migrate the newer version, right? Okay, so the next question will be when to use Django. So you need to develop a web app or API backend. Let's say if I want to create a application programming interface, means we can say JSON API, right? So for that time you can use a JSON, and you need to move fast, deploy fast, and also make changes as you move ahead. And the app must be secure from most common vulnerabilities and attacks by default. For an example, cross-site request forgery, SQL injection, XSS, and clickjacking. These are the most common security issue. Mostly all the website facing this kind of issue. But let's say if you are using a Django, then don't worry about this problems, right? And you might integrate cutting edge that in future, for an example, machine learning and AI, right? So Django is not an MVC. Django is an MVT, model view template. So in model, we have to define the database structure, and it take care of your query and database. And view means define what data should be present and returns HTTP response. So view will be your request and response, and template means your HTML and XML designing, right? Okay, so there are some prerequisites to start learning the Django. First is Python function, right? I hope you guys know about the Python basic, how to define a user defined function, how to call how to import basic modules like OS and everything. So Python conditional operators and loops, Python object oriented concept, and database management and SQL queries. So these are the basic requirements. So I hope you guys are already clear with these things, right? And now let's talk about the IDE or editor. So there are so many there are so many options are there. For an example, Notepad, Sublime Text, Atom, JetBrains, PyCharm, and VS Code. So today's session I'm going to use VS Code as an editor. I hope you are using PyCharm or maybe Sublime. So you can do the comments which IDE or editor you are using currently for Python, right? Okay, so now I hope you guys are ready to start installation of the Django. Okay, so now the next step will be how to install Django in my local computer. So first you have to install Python, and then you have to create a Python virtual environment, and then simply you can write the command for installing Django. Okay, so for an example, if we consider pip is a Python package installation commands. We have to do some package commands. For an example, if you don't know about the pip, pip is a standard package manager for the Python. Same as in .NET we have npm, in PHP we have composer, in .NET we have NuGet actually, and in Node.js we have npm, in Python we have pip. Okay, so let's say pip has been included with the Python installer since version 3.4 and Python 2 2.7.9. Okay, so what is next? So how to check whether Django is installed or not in my system? So this is a simple command. You can take a snapshot. So py-m Django-version, right? So with the help of this command, you can check the Django version which is installed in your computer. And let's say if you want to check a version of Python, then simply you can type Python -version. And if you want to check the version of Python packages, then simply type pip -version. Okay, so I hope you guys are already done with the slides. Yes, I will definitely share this slide with you, so don't worry about this. I'm a little bit faster because I want to focus on the practical session, right? Okay, so these are the commands that we have to follow when we are working with the Python packages. For an example, pip help, pip install package name. So don't worry, we will start practical of these commands, right? So the first, if you want to download or if you want to upload your own packages, then you can visit the official website of Python package, that is pypi.org, right? So you can follow this website from where you can get the list of Python packages, and you can also create your own package and you can distribute for the community, right? Okay, so the first package will be for our today's session, that is a Django. So you can see the command is there, pip install Django, and you can see the command, so Django version is 2.2.3. I know this slide is little bit older one, right? But current version is 3.0. So let's say we can also check official website of Django. Django official website name is djangoproject.com, right? So let's say if you want to get details of documentation, you can visit this official website from where you will get all the tutorials, code structures and everything, right? So for an example, let's start installation of Django in our local computer. So first what we have to do, first we have to create one folder in our D drive, right? You can create in any drive, but especially I love D drive because in C drive, you know very well, program files are there and there are so many other stuffs are there. So I always create new project in my D drive or maybe E drive. So first you can create a new folder and name it pywork. Okay, then what we have to do, we have to download Django in our local computer. So download the Django, we have to write this command, and once you write this command, Django will Python packages will download the Django in your local computer, and then once your installation is done, you will get a message. But in my slide, you can see a Django is already installed. That's why you can see requirement is already satisfied, right? Okay. So let's say if you want to check Django version, then you can simply write the command, hey Django admin, give me a version name. So the command will be Django-admin --version, right? And you will get the version name or number. So what is next? Next is I want to create new project with the help of Django admin. So you have to fire this command Django-admin start project, and you have to specify your project name, right? So this command will create a basic directory structure in your local computer that we can see in our next slide. Okay, so once your structure is ready, you can navigate to your project by typing the command cd my first web app, right? And if you want to run your project, If you want to run your project, then simply type the command python space manage.py and run server. So ये क्या करेगा, right? I can see there are few people's are I can see your comments, okay, but don't worry, I will give you solution at the end of this webinar. So for an example, let's say I want to run my Python project or Django project. The command will be python manage.py run server. So this command will run your Django project in the port number 127.0.0.1 and 8000. So if I press next, you can see your project is ready and ready to fly this rocket. So let's try demonstrate in my computer. So what we have to do first, I hope you guys are comfortable with Hindi and English. I can see in the chat section. Okay, just a second. Okay, so now let's start the installation part. What you have to do first, you have to open the command prompt, right? So just go to your Google and type the Django project. So djangoproject.com, this is the official website of Django, right? Where you will get all the documentation details and all the steps to create a new project. Okay, so let's say I want to create new project. Then the first step will be pip install Django. So this command will download the latest version of Django in my computer. So let's say if I press enter, you can see the requirement is already satisfied. Okay, so that's okay. So now just go to your D drive, okay, and then just clear the screen, and I want to create new project. So to create a new project, what we have to do, we have to write a command, hey Django admin start new project, and my project name will be my site. So this is a simple command that you have to write whenever you want to create a new project in your computer. Hey Django admin, start new project, and you have to specify your project name. And then what you have to do? Just press enter. So just go to your D drive. In D drive, you can see my site is ready. Okay. So in my site folder, you can explore. There are two files. One is a manage.py and second one is a folder which contains 5 different files. Okay. No problem. I will explain this file in a details, right? Okay. So then next is what? Now I want to run this project in my browser. Okay. To run the project, you have to write one more command. So first will be navigation of project. So cd my site, and then python manage.py, please run this server. Okay. 1, 2, 3, press enter. So you can see you will get a message. Your server is started at 127 port number 8000. So simply copy this port number and open your favorite browser and paste it, right? And you can see my project is ready, and you can see the rocket is ready to fly in the sky. Okay, so this is the basic steps to create a project in Django. And you can see the Django version is 3.0, right, which I am using currently in my laptop. Okay, so what is next step? So next step will be editor. So right now I'm using VS Code. If you want to download a VS Code editor, just go to Google and you can search for Visual Studio Code. So Visual Studio Code is available free of cost. You can download it and you can use for any languages like C, C++, PHP, Node, and Java, Python, right? And one more thing, with the help of extension, we can create our editor as an IDE. Okay, so you can see Python extension is there. You can simply install this extension in your VS Code. Okay, so let's say what I have to do, just open the VS Code So just go to folder, open folder. In D drive, you have to select your project and then select the folder. Okay, so I can see in the chat section few people are doing a not relevant chat. Please be on be on the topic so that I can focus on my session. Okay, so here you can see the manage.py file is there and db.sqlite3 is there. By default, Django is using SQLite3 database. In the folder structure, you can see wsgi file, urls file, settings.py and asgi file. So let me give you introduction about this file and directory structure. Okay, I got a comment why you're not using VS Code terminal, because see, let's say if I using a VS terminal, the font will be very little bit slow. Screen is not clear. Just a second, hold on. I hope my screen is visible to you. Is it visible, everyone? Okay, so now let's start with the directory structure again. So shift F5. So inside the folders, you can see there are 5 files: settings, URL and WSGI files, right? So what you have to do, you have to open the VS Code. Inside the VS Code, you can select the your folder, right? And in folder, you have to select your project. Okay. Now you can see manage.py is there, WSGI is file is there. So you can also download various extension for the Python. Right now I'm using Python extension, Django extension in my VS Code. Okay, so I love this VS icon extension, which is my favorite extension for the VS Code. You can also go for this extension in your VS Code. Okay, so what is manage.py? So manage.py file will manage all your request and response, right? And then web server gateway interface file, right? It will also filter out the request of your server request and response, and then urls.py file. This file will manage all the URLs of your website. For an example, let's say if you want to specify your home page, about us, contact us, then what you have to do, you have to specify the URL over here, right? And we will see a demonstration of this homepage, about us and contact us website. Okay, the settings.py. So settings.py will manage all the required settings. For an example, template settings, database settings, etc. And see, you can see by default Django provides various applications such as admin, auth, content types, session, messages and static files. Also there will be some middleware. Middleware always do a filtration of your request and response. So let's say, as we have discussed previously, there are some security problems are there in a normal website. So Django is using middleware for CSRF attack, authentication, message and XSS attacks, right? So we have this add-on features in Django. Then next is init.py, which is not required as of now. So we can skip this. Okay. So let's say if you want to start your project in PyCharm, then you can start with the PyCharm. So simply you have to download PyCharm from official website of PyCharm, and then you can create a new project. You can specify the folder structure, and you can simply write your code in PyCharm as well. But for today's session, I'm going to use VS Code. I hope you guys are ready to start developing the code, right? Okay, so this is a basic life cycle of the Django. So for an example, let's say whenever you are giving any request, so first of all, browser will be a send request to the server. Server will send request to WSGI file, and middleware will check the condition whether request is appropriate or not. So if request is appropriate, then it will send to the URL, and URL will check the routing files. For an example, let's say homepage, if we are opening a home page, so first it will check whether home URL is there or not in your URL files. So if view file is there, then it will check the database connectivity, and also it will consider the templating engine, and then it will give you a response, right? Okay, so for an example, let's start the doing a coding, right, without wasting the time in the theory section. Okay, so now let's start the code in the Django. I hope you guys are comfortable with the webinar. If you have any feedback or if you have any doubts, you can comment in the chat section so that I can improve, right? And if you are comfortable with English, Hindi, let me know. I will, yeah, the feedback link will be shared at the end of this webinar. So please stay with me. Okay, so now you can see by default we have manage.py, WSGI file, URLs.py, settings.py, and other files. So whenever you want to create a website in Django, what you have to do? First, you have to create an application. Why? Because here you can see there is no option to write a HTML code or any functions code, right? So first what we have to do, we have to create one application. Same as, let's say, if you go to google.com, right? So Google is main search engine, and in Google search engine you can see we have so many applications. Every application has their own request and response, right? Yeah, certificate will be give you at the end of this webinar or maybe after 3 days. So right now just focus on the topic, right? So okay, so let's say if I want to create a new application, again we have to write some commands, right? So by default VS Code also provide a terminal system. So if you want to use a VS Code inbuilt terminal, just go to view and you can select the terminal. Where is my terminal? Okay, sorry, terminal. Yes, you can see here you can create a terminal. You can also create a various instance of this terminals like this, but as of now I'm using this Windows command prompt, so that font will be visible to you. Okay, so what you have to do, first clear the screen, and then we have to write some command to create an application. Now what is application? Application will consist a view file, HTML files, and we can specify the URLs. Let's say if you want to create a new application, you have to write a command. So the command will be Django, hey Django admin, start new project, and sorry, not start a project, we have to create application. So to create application we have to write start app, right? And you have to specify your application name, hello app. Okay, and then what you have to do, just press enter. So now you can see in your project your new application is created successfully. Okay, you can use any editor, any IDE, right? But I'm using VS Code, right? Okay, so here you can see my site is a different project and my application is hello app. Hello app hello app project contains views.py. Here we can specify the various views, right? And test is used for unit testing purpose, but which is not required as of now. In models we can specify our database models. In application it's not required as of now. Let's say if you want to use any admin panel related models, then you can use the admin py, and it is also not required. Okay, so let's say what we have to do, first we have to do a demonstration of hello world, right? To create a hello world we have to define a basic functions in our views.py. So let's say by default they are importing, they have already imported the render methods, and what we have to do, we have to import from Django.http. You know very well HTTP used for hypertext transfer protocol, right? Then import HTTP response. So first we have to import the HTTP, and then we have to define one function with the help of def keyword, and here I will specify my function name homepage view, and the function will have a request, and whenever I get a request we have to specify one return, and return will be HTTP response. Let's say welcome to my website. Okay, so it's done. So you can see this is my simple function of homepage view, which contains a request, and whenever a request is coming from the server it will return HTTP plain response, right? Welcome. I forgot to. Okay, so sorry again. Welcome to my website. Okay, so now it's done. So how to call this function? So for that we have to create one urls.py file over here. So every application has their own urls.py, right? So for this application we also have to create urls.py file. So just click on the new file and name it urls.py. Okay, so what you have to do in next, we have to specify our URL structure over here. So from Django.urls import path. So first we have to import the path, and then we have to import our views. So these are the views. But here we have defined one view. The view name is homepage view, right? So we have to access this homepage view over here, right? So in URLs we have to use import views, and then we have to specify one array for URL pattern. So URL patterns, and then in array what we have to do? We have to specify our path, and path views dot homepage view, and we have to specify the name. The name will be, okay, I can see them. There are some issue with the comments. Screen is not clear, sir. Please check it again. Interesting. Link is description, but watch this webinar. Don't write as a sir feedback. Link kahan hai? Screen is blurred. Okay, I hope guys my screen is visible to you. If yes, then write yes in the chat section, right? So I can fix the problem. Okay, so let's say for an example, this is my URL patterns. The URL patterns by default it is considered as a root directory, and whenever URL root will be fired, it will load the views homepage view, and the name will be home. So now what you have to do? We have to inform our project. My project name is, okay. Okay, fine for the comments. Yes, you have to increase your quality like 720p. Yeah, it's visible. Yeah, I can see the comments. Screen is blurred. Maybe due to some poor internet connectivity from your side. So you can check your video quality. Okay, thank you so much guys for the comments. Okay, so you can see we have created one homepage view, and then we have specified URLs over here, and then we have to inform our project that we have created one application. So what you have to do, just go to your settings.py. In settings.py, you have to specify your install apps. So my app name is hello app. So whenever you are creating new application, you have to inform your project, hey project, we have created one new app and our app name is hello app. Okay, so now what is the next will be, you have to specify your URL over here. See, we have two different urls.py. One is for our project and second one is for our application. See, one more time, let me give you a brief introduction about the application. See, one project may have multiple application like Hello App, Hello App 2, Hello App 3, right? So whenever you are creating a new application, you have to inform your project in settings.py like this, and also you have to inform your urls.py, right? So just go to your urls.py, and here what you have to do, you have to include your application URL. So my path will be like, see, include, then hello app.urls. So semicolon is also required, comma. Okay. So you here you can see, whenever user places a request, so by default this is considered as a root directory. So root directory will call the hello app.urls. In hello app.urls we have urls.py. In urls.py we have views.homepageview. And let's say if I go to my views.py, it will print welcome to my website. So now let's start demonstrate this project. So again, hey Python manage.py, run the server and press enter. So now if I go to my website and if I refresh this page, you can see welcome to my website, right? Let's say again, let me give you introduction about this welcome to my website. I know the steps are little bit very difficult as a beginner level, right? But you can see whenever you are placing a request, first it will goes to your urls.py. urls.py will be include your hello app.urls, which is already there, right? And this will call your homepage view, which is already created in views.py, right? So it will print http response. Okay, so I can see there are few people who are doing unnecessary comments. So now onwards I'm going to block them on this webinar. Okay, so this is last message for them. Okay, I hope you guys are enjoying this webinar and you are getting my point, whatever I'm teaching you. Okay, so next step, so what we have done, we have created a new project. Let me make a note. We have created hello, we have created Django project, hello world, create app and manage app. Okay, and http response. Okay, so what is next? Let's say if I want to create multiple response like this. Okay, so what we can do, simply we have to copy this home page view and paste it again. You know very well, we are developers, we know the value of this copy paste, right? So simply you have to copy paste 2 times. Here you can specify the home and about. So with the help of this function, we can create simple website like homepage, about us, and contact us. Okay. Okay. So thank you for the comments. Okay. So what we have to do? We have to change the message again. Welcome to my website. Welcome to my about, and welcome to my contact. So simply this is a basic structure of homepage, about us, and contact us. These are the 3 different functions. Okay, and what is next? We also have to specify the URLs to call this function. So just go to your urls.py. Again we have to copy. Yes, copy paste is also important part for development. So here you can specify the about and contact, and the function name we have to change with about and contact, and here we have to change with about contact. It's done. So nothing we have to do in our project, because we already have specified the application in settings.py. We already have specified the URLs in url.py. So this will be only one time steps that we have to follow. Now if you go to your website, if you type about, then you can see. So now let me block one person in the chat section. Okay, it's done. So you can see the about is there. If you type the contact, you can see welcome to contact. If you specify the root directory, then it will display welcome to my website. So you can see this is a simple basic level website which contains a HTTP response. But HTTP response is not helpful to create a website. So what we have to do, instead of this HTTP response, what I have to do, I want to render my physical HTML page. To render the HTML page, what we have to do, we have to follow again one more steps. So first we will create one directory. Just go to your root directory, create new folder and name it templates. Okay. So again, we have to inform our project. Hey Django, we have created one new folder and the folder name is templates. So what you have to do, just go to your my sites in settings.py. We have to go to your templates. In directory you have to specify os.path.join, and here you have to concat your base directory with templates. So you have to inform your Django template settings that we have created one new folder and the folder name is templates. Okay. So this is a basic structure for the concatenation of the folder. Okay. So inside the template folder, we can create three different files for home, about us and contact us. So home.html, then about.html, and then the last one will be contact.html. We will also call CSS file and JavaScript file over here, but step by step. So in home.html, just type home. I know I'm not going to write so many content over here because we are focusing on the procedure of this Django, and this is my about, right? So I have created my three simple pages of home, about us and contact us. So just close these three files. Now the next step will be, I want to render this HTML file over here, right? So what do we have to do? Instead of this HTTP response, we have to render our file. To render the file, just simply delete this HTTP response message and render my request as a home.html. So same thing, you have to copy and paste it for about us and contact us. So this will be a contact and this will be a about. So it's done. So instead of HTTP response, we can also render our HTML file, which is located at templates.folder, and here you can see these are the physical HTML file. So if I refresh my page, so here you will get a message from HTML files, right? So if I type about, you can see this is about and contact. Okay, let's say we have successfully rendered our HTML files. So what is next? Next will be, let's say if I want to render a specific layout. For an example, let's say you know very well, let me draw a layout in the paint. For an example, every website having a header part, a menu part and footer section, right? And there will be a sidebar also. Okay, so you know very well, in all the pages the header, menu, sidebar and footer always remain same. Only your content part will be changed. So same thing, let's say if I want to maintain this structure in my Django project, we have one more concept that is called as a template extending, right? So to extend the template, we have to define one structure. To define a structure, just create one new file and name it master.html. In master.html, we will define our master layout, right? which will consist for all the pages in homepage, about us and contact us. With the help of this master layout, it will be a very easy to change the layout or maybe some content in our website, right? So let me define a structure for the HTML, like HTML body. In a center tag, I will specify my name, okay, and the name must be in a H1 so that it will be a very easy to read. Okay, I hope you guys are enjoying this webinar. If yes or no, you can comment in the chat section so I can improve the content. Okay, so you can see this is my header and HR for the it will be a draw a line, right? And we can also specify the hyperlinks like ahref, home, and then about. So delete this extra space. Okay, so I'm waiting for your comments, guys. Contact. Let's say navigate your pages. What you have to do? You have to specify your URLs. My URLs are like /about /contact. Yes, sir. Enjoying. Thank you guys for the lovely comments and lovely audience is there. Okay. I can see there are so many people are from different state, different city and different countries, right? Okay, so okay, one more people. Okay, so now what is next? Let me define one structure over here. So we have to define one block, right? So to define a block, we have to use a template syntax. For the Django template syntax, we have to use a curly bracket and percentage sign, right? So I can see there are few people who are not interested. So please don't waste your time over here. Just left this webinar so the other people can focus. Okay. So now what do you have to do? So we have to define one block section here. So to define a block, we have to write the command block and you can specify the name of the block, and then you have to also have to block and the block like and block. Just a second, let me read the comments first. So if you want to add CSS file in HTML page, definitely we will use. Mast chair, thank you, very informative. Don't focus on negative comments, sir. Yes, but I also have to focus on the negative comments so that I can improve something, right? Okay, so now see, this is a block contain. So block means what? I will tell you later, just hold on. So I have created one block section. You can specify any name over here and you have to end the block like this. So we can see it's a simple block layout. So now what do we have to do? We have to inform our about.html. Here about, we have created one master layout, right? We have created one master layout. So just load the master layout with the help of extends keyword, and you have to specify your layout name, that is master.html, and in master.html we have one block and the block name is content. So percentage curly braces and the block name is content, and then again curly braces percentage and the block. Okay, it's done. What do you have to do? We have to write your HTML code over here. Welcome to about. So whenever you are loading this page, it will first load the master.html. Inside the master.html, it will check whether this page contains a block content or not. If it is there, then it will simply replace your about us code over here, right? Okay. Now let's say if I refresh my about page, there is some problem. What is problem? Extends. It's not extend. So we have to specify extends. So extend is a keyword, right? And simply refresh. So here you can see my layout is there. See, we have not refined any layouts over here. By default it will rendering from the master.html. Okay, so again let me check in the comments. Nice and easy, it's good. Confusing at some position. Yeah, you know, you are beginner level, so maybe it will be a confusion, right? Not interest, left the webinar, enjoying this webinar, thank you sir. Send ppt, went quite fast. Yes, I'm little bit fast because in 1 hour I have to cover all the topics, and you can revise this session again. The link will be visible again in the YouTube. The session will be live 24/7 in the YouTube. Okay, so now you can see we have defined one master layout over here. Okay, so same thing we have to do for our about and contact. So simply we have to change the contact, and in home page we have to change. So home. So but now if I run my website, you can see this is my home, this is my about, but link is not working, I think so. Home, in home I think we have to change the content. My content is contact. So it's done. So in about it's about. Okay. So if I refresh this home page, you can see welcome to home. If I click on the about, you can see welcome to about. And if you click on the contact, welcome to contact. Where is contact page? Oh, I made mistake. Let's replace this word with contact. So it's done. So let's say if I want to change something over here, let's say if I want to change with the Akash Technolabs. So with the help of master HTML, the content will be automatically changed in all the files. See, home, about, and contact. So this is the power of layout extends. So I can see. So now you can see. Let me give you introduction about this topic again. So whenever you want to define a master layout, right? What you have to do? First, we have to create a master.html. You can also create a base.html file or any name you can suggest, right? And then you can define your structure over here, and you can create a multiple block like this, okay? And in your normal HTML pages, first you have to extend your master file, and you have to provide your content in the block of your content, right? And you can see in about us, in contact us, I have defined the content. Okay, so we have seen how to create a layout, right? How to define layout in the Django. So we can use, yes, we can also use the URL names. Let's say if you want to specify your URL name instead of this URL, so simply curly braces percentage and URL. Inside the URL, you can specify your URL name, which is already defined in your urls.py. Here you can see if I want to call my contact page, the name will be contact, right? So what I have to do here, I have to specify the name of my URL. So it is contact. You can use both the methods. You can simply specify the directly URL like this, or you can use a template method, that is URL. Okay, so if I save this file, if I refresh this page again, see, contact us page is working smoothly, right? About us, contact us. So we have two different methods to specify our URLs. One is by providing a direct URL, and second one is to specify name of your URL, which is already specified in the urls.py. Okay, so what is next? Next, I want to load a HTML template. For an example, you know very well, nowadays people are using a theme integration, or maybe they are downloading a themes from various websites like w3layouts.com, themeforest.net. So let's say if I want to integrate any HTML page or HTML theme, is it possible? Yes, we can integrate any HTML theme in our Django project. So let me download one theme. Just go to Google, and there is one more question: how to change the title of the page dynamically of each page. Okay, so let's say if you want to render a specific data, right? So what you have to do, just go to your views.py. I want to render some values. So inside the curly braces, you can specify the name and let's say this is my key and this is my value. I want to render my name dynamically in my home page. So what I have to do, we have to specify key and value, and then just go to your home page, and in double curly braces you have to specify your key name. My key name is name, right? So if I refresh this page, home, actually home is not working, so there is some problem. Just a second. Okay, I forgot to specify the routing. Just a second. It's not working. Yeah, it's working now. Welcome to home Akash. So about, contact, home, right? So you can see welcome to home Akash. So it's working. So with the help of key and value, you can render your value as a dynamically, right? In HTML file, we have to use double curly braces to print your value. Okay, so next topic is how to load theme. So what you have to do, just download any theme from the internet. Stamp-alike is my favorite theme. Almost in all the webinars I'm using this theme, right? Why? Because this is very easy theme, and the theme consists only one CSS file, so it will not waste my time in this webinar, right? So you can see this is a simple HTML template. If you click on homepage about us, it will not work because a single page template. So just click on the download, so it will start downloading, but I already downloaded this template which is already present in my desktop. So simply right click and extract. So yes to all. Okay, so my template consists CSS file, images folder and HTML file. So first, again we have to follow some steps, and the steps will be, first we have to create one new folder, and the folder name will be static. Okay, so static folder will contains all the CSS, all the JavaScript and all the images files, right? And just go to your template folder, just copy this images and CSS file. Okay, and now in your my site, in static folder is there, just paste your CSS and images folder. Okay, and then what is next step? The next step will be, you have to copy your HTML content, right? So this is my HTML content for the theme. So Control A, Control C, and simply in my project, in About Us section, where is my About Us? In Templates and About Us, I will replace all the code over here, right? But if I run the About Us page again, see, the template is loaded perfectly, but the CSS file is not loading proper. For that, we have to follow one more steps. So we have to inform our project. Hey Django project, we have created one new static folder and consider this folder as a part of your project, right? So what you have to do, you have to go to your settings.py of your project. So go to my site. In my site, there is one file which is very important file, that is a settings.py. In settings.py, at the bottom you can see the static URLs for, variable is there, and we have to create static directory array over here. So static files underscore directories, right? Inside the array, we have to join os.path.join base directory of our project and static folder. This will be a part of your project. So now onwards, static folder will consider as a part of this project. Okay, so this will be a first step. Load a CSS file, JS file or images in your project. So in second step you have to open your about.html file, and here you have to write one more command. Hey HTML, please load my static data. So curly braces, percentage, and then load static. So with the help of this keyword, it will load static data over here. And the last step, instead of this path, this is a directly path, right? What we have to do, we have to specify our static folder. So curly braces, percentage and percentage, and then we have to specify static. So static is a folder. So it's done. So you have to change this path, and now it's done. If you refresh your about.html, and you can see my CSS is loaded successfully, right? So let's say, but there is one problem. My image is not loaded successfully. If you visit your official template, the images is there, right? But here you can see image is not loaded. Why? Because in image, here you can see in image, what you have to do, you have to change the path. So curly braces, percentage, static, single quotes, and static, percentage, curly braces. So save this file and refresh it again, and now you can see there is some problem. Why static? I forgot to specify static. Whenever I see comments, I made a mistake in my coding. Static. Okay, it's done. So it's loaded successfully. I hope you guys are clear with this section. We have created 3 different pages, and we have specified the master layout, and we have successfully loaded our HTML template. So I know I'm a little bit faster, but in 1 hour, it's very important to cover all the topics like hello world, create app, manage app, how to print HTTP response, how to specify the navigation, we can say routing, how to load your HTML file with the help of render, and how to define a layout with the help of Django and HTML templates. So now the next topic is database, right? So let's say, for an example, if you go to your project, in your project db.sqlite3 is there, but the size is 0 KB, 0 bytes. So whenever you are running your project, let's say if I close this command, clear the screen, python manage.py run server. So here you can see it will give you some warning. You have 17 unapplied migrations, means this is a warning. So whenever you are creating a new project, first you have to do a migration. So migration is very important part for Django. Migration will consist of your basic necessary folders and database structure, which is also required for the authentication purpose, administration purpose, right? And let's say if you want to change MySQL database or any other database, then you have to visit your settings.py. By default, Django is using SQLite 3 database. You can see in the settings file, where is it? Control F, SQLite. Here you can see by default the database engine is SQLite 3. But let's say if you want to change with a MySQL, then you can simply change the MySQL, and you can import all the database in your MySQL database. Okay, so as of now we will use for the SQLite 3. And see again, close this server. Now if I type python manage.py and migrate, this is a command which will automatically migrate all the database schema into your SQLite database. So let's say if I type enter, if I press enter, So you will get a message like this. So here you can see all the necessary migration is done successfully, like admin auth, right? So this migration has created few tables in SQLite database. Okay. So if you are changed with the MySQL, then it will also create a tables in the MySQL database. Okay. So now let's say if I run my project again, the message is not visible. You can see the warning has been gone, right? You can say. So now if I open the project and if I type admin, I know we have not specified any admin section over here, but by default in the urls.py you can see by default Django is providing admin section, right? Admin application is already provided by the Django, and if you type the admin you can see the login page is there. But I know you guys are wondering about the username password. So let's say I know the first ID password will be admin in your mind. So if I type admin, so you can see the username and password is not correct. So what you have to do? We have to create one super user over here. To create the super user, we have to write some commands again. Let's say there will be one question in your mind. Sir, may I know the list of commands in the Django? Yeah. Simply you have to do python manage.py, just press enter. It will give you a list of commands, right? So here you can see there are so many commands are there. So let's say what I have to do, I want to create a super user. Super user for what? To access my admin panel. So python manage.py, I want to create a super user, right? So a python manage.py, please create super user. So press enter and it will prompt for the username. So username you can specify admin, and email address, yeah, admin@gmail.com. This is most common email ID, and password will be admin. I know it's weak password, but it's okay, we are demonstrating only. So it will give you some warning. The password is very short and similar to the username. Are you okay with this? Yes. Enter. So you can see super user created successfully. So now what we have to do, we have to again run this server. So python manage.py, run the server and press enter. So now refresh this page and type admin. So if I click on the login, and you can see finally we are in admin panel. So here you can see the group option is there, user option is there. Let's say if I want to add one more user, simply click on this. So here you can specify the name, like for an example, but yeah, password ABC and save. Password is very small. Okay. I hope you guys still with me on this webinar. Okay, you can see the username password is already specified. You can specify the other fields like first name, last name, email address. You can also specify the permissions, right? So let's say these are the permission which is already specified by the admin panel. Okay, and one more thing, if you want to create various models in the Django, so simply just search on the Google Django model, and here there will be a link from where you will get all the information how to define models, how to define a templates, right, in your admin panel. So you can follow this link whenever you want to create a new panel for the other tables. Okay, and what about the DB SQLite 3? So let's say if you go to here, now let me check the size. The size is, just to refresh this folder, it's 128 KB. So I want to explore this database. So to explore this database, you can download the SQLite database browser. I already have the database explorer DB browser. Just a second, where is it? Yes. So it's a portable software. So just go to open database and D drive my site SQLite 3. So you can see by default Django will create various tables to maintain all the required information. For an example, user information, permissions, authentication, admin logs, and recently we have created a new users, right? So you can see the username is Padiyar and it's a super user. No, it's not a super user. So you can see the value is 0, right? So you can maintain all the details from this uh, tables, right? So I hope you guys are uh, ready to create a website with the help of basic introduction of this Django webinar. And we have seen migrate, super user. These are the list of topics which we have discussed in this webinar. And now let's start the Q&A section, question and answer. Okay. And one more thing, I will share the feedback link, which is also important for me, right? And feedback is also important to issue the certificates. I know very well. Few people are waiting for the feedback links, but feedback link is already specified in the description. See, the link is already given over here. Okay, so now I am waiting for your comments and feedback. I hope you guys are clear with this section. How to create a simple Django website, how to define the application, how to specify the HTML files and routing. We have seen so many things in the 1 hour session. Okay. So I can see your comments. If you have any question, if you have any doubts, you can write in the chat section so that I can give you answer. Okay. So thank you so much sharing the knowledge. Thank you, Dr. Abhay, sir. Okay. Pune. Thank you so much. Yes, today I got a lovely audience from different city, different countries, right? So generally I'm delivering session in the Hindi, Gujarati, but due to respect of this different city, excellent session, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, if you want to watch this webinar again, so don't worry, the link will be activate 24/7. So anytime you can watch this webinar again and you can start implementing in your computer how to so authenticate. Yes, authentication is already done with the help of create super user, right? And by default, Django is providing authentication system. Okay, very interested, very well. Thanks Akash for such nice presentation. Thank you. One of the most enjoyable and informative seminar. Thank you so much. Nice session. Great, great. Maja aavi. Okay. Okay. Let's say if you want to and if you need any kind of resources or if you want to watch other webinars which is already done by me, you can simply go to YouTube and you can search Akash Padiyar, and in my YouTube channel you will get different webinars on different technologies like Angular, Node, Laravel, React, Django, Hindi, in Gujarati is also there, right? In Android, Flutter. There are so many webinars are there, right? In all the webinars, almost I have covered the basic things, how to create a simple application or maybe simple website, right? Okay, and you can also visit my GitHub repository, which is github.com/akashpadiyar. All webinars are free of cost. Don't worry, I'm not taking any charge. So here you can see the Django CRUD operation is also there with the help of MySQL database. What is that? Yes, this one. Django CRUD MySQL connector, right? You can simply download this code and you can run in your project. So you will get a database connectivity, right? So let me share this link with you guys. Okay, so I hope it will be very helpful to you. Okay, so now let's switch back to again in the chat section. So special thanks to Sigma College for giving me this opportunity and Dr. Sesang Degadwala for giving me this opportunity for the webinar again. Okay, very informative session. Thank you. Such a useful, knowledgeable webinar. Thank you. Explanation was clear. Another session, maybe I will try. I know there are few people are waiting for the other session, and if you want to join my other webinars, I will share one form for my upcoming webinars. Let me give you a link for that. You can fill up the details. So whenever I will organize a new webinar, I will inform you via SMS. I already have shared the link with you. You can fill up the details. So in next webinar, I will inform you. Thank you, Akash sir. Okay, thank you. Using PyCharm, simply see if I had done this in the VS Code. So you can also do with the PyCharm. It's very similar. So Django is pretty much good framework. So what is the procedure to deploy some machine learning model? Can we have next webinar on it if possible? Sure, I will try my best for that. Good sir, actually I'm from Python developer. That's great. Nice session, appreciable. Thank you. Very good session, sir. Thank you. Lockdown now, sorry, use that. Lockdown is very useful nowadays. If you are from IT, you can gain some knowledge from the various webinars, right? मजा आई गई. So there are some people who are Gujarati. I know very well. Gujarati is also important. But today I'm focusing all the different countries, right? Once again, now daily you have given webinars perfectly easy and understand. Thank you so much, sir, for the lovely comments. Yes, I think I have delivered 30 plus webinars during this lockdown. Okay, so don't forget to fill up the feedback form, right? And we will distribute the certificate in next 3 days. So don't worry about it. Nice workshop. Thank you so much. So if you have any question or doubts, you can write in the chat section. So in next 5 minutes, we will end up this webinar. Okay. Feedback form is already given. Let me give you again. Just a second. And it is also available in my description, right? And for my upcoming webinars, just a second. Okay, it's already sent. Okay, nice sir, informative. What is officially certificate course for the Django developer? I think no, there is no option for the official developer. Any webinar on deep learning? Yeah, I'm planning for it. MongoDB connection into Django. Yes, you can connect any database. Like MySQL is also there. Then simply you have to change the syntax of Mongo, right? Very nice. Hello, Gaurang. So finally, guys, thank you so much for joining this webinar, and thank you so much Sigma Institute of Engineering and head of the department, Dr. Sesang Degadwala, right? And finally, it's time to leave. So if you have any feedback, you can comment it, or you can share via the feedback form, or you can also WhatsApp me on my number for any question or any doubts, right? So finally, the final message for you: stay home, stay safe, and start learning new thing and start implementing it. Okay. So finally, guys, bye bye. See you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So finally, I'm going to end this webinar now. Bye bye, guys.